Good morning, good night, and good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. My name is Justin, or PBJ, and today we're doing another commentary, story time, whatever you want to call it. We're going to be talking about a personal experience of mine. So let's just get right into this. But before I do that, I gotta do it, guys. I'm sorry. Make sure if you enjoy the video, make sure you hit the subscribe button. It's free. You can always change your mind later. And we're trying to get to 40 subscribers by the end of April. If we do that, I'll do something crazy. I don't know what I'm going to do yet. I might do a live stream. So make sure you hit the subscribe button so we can get that 40 subscriber milestone. Let's just get into the video because I don't like plugging like that, so let's just get in. So today I'm going to be talking about a personal experience of mine about Zoom. So this story time takes place literally last week, probably Thursday, I think. So if you don't know what Zoom is basically FaceTime, except you can have a lot of people. Except on FaceTime, you can have a lot of other people. Now, Zoom is a bit different in that you need a room. It's kind of like a server where you need a password and the server code. That's basically summarizing what Zoom is. A lot of schools are using Zoom for their online video chats, which, I use it. My school uses it. So a lot of other schools use it. It's a very well-known thing. It really only just started popping up with, obviously, coronavirus, which I probably should address. Hopefully you guys are doing okay. Hopefully, you're not sick. Hopefully you don't have it. Anyways, a lot of schools are using Zoom. So you might think, well, it has to be pretty safe. Well, let me tell you something, guys. It really isn't. All right? So this happened probably about last Thursday. So last Thursday, my friend Rocco and I, his name's Cheddar Boy, Rocco, Cheddar Boy, whatever you want to call him. We were like, I texted him, I was like, hey man, you want to play some zombies? So he's like, yeah, sure. So we go on, we're talking or whatever. Well, I call him first, and I was like, hey man, I want to show you something. And I'm like, okay, cool. So he's like, well, I don't have FaceTime because I don't have an Apple. So he's like, okay, let's just use something else. So we try House Party. House Party doesn't work. Okay, great. So now he's like, hey, you want to try Zoom? And I say, okay. So I download Zoom, create an account, and I make a new room. Okay, well, now Rocco's taking a while to join it, and I say, hey, what's the holdup? And he's like, nothing, it's just taking me a while to install it. I say, okay, that's all right. So while I'm waiting for Rocco to join my Zoom meeting, this random person comes in. His username is Jake. He joins in, okay? And he has video, but he doesn't have audio. So he has a virtual background, and if you use Zoom, you know what I'm talking about. He has a virtual background, and it looks kind of like an album cover of some sort. I've never seen anything like it. I mean, the only reason why I say it looks like an album cover is because it had the parental advisory warning at the bottom left or whatever of the cover or something. So I'm like, well, that's kind of creepy. So I leave it, and I create a new one. And Rocco's like, and I text Rocco, I say, dude, there's some random dude that joined my thing. And he's like, okay, make a new one. Okay, so I make a new one. I give him the info. Okay, well then this kid named Jake joins again. And I'm like, what the heck? So I leave again. I said, dude, he came back. I said, are you messing with me? Are you Jake? And he's like, no, I'm not messing with you. So I make another one. Okay, well then this time Jake joins again. So I'm like, okay, I've had enough of this. So I turn on my microphone because at this point I was muted. I say, dude, I don't know who you are, but can you just please leave And he just leaves. Doesn't say anything, doesn't put anything in chat. Okay, well, finally, I'm like, okay, it's clear. Jake is no longer in our game, is no longer in our Zoom meeting anymore. So it's like, okay, let's hop on. Okay, well, while I'm loading onto Black Ops 3 Zombies, this kid named Daniel joins. And I'm like, okay. So I know it's not Rocco at this point. It's not Rocco at this point. It's not any of my other friends. So I'm like, okay. So I look into the chat of the Zoom meeting, and Daniel texts, have you seen my friend named Jake? And I was like, yeah, I have. He was just in. I created 3 new servers. And he texts, he's wanted on the dark web. Now, at the time, I wasn't aware of Zoom hacking. So I was freaked out about this, and I said, hey, Rocco, this kid says his friend is wanted on the dark web. So I'm freaking out. I'm like, did we do anything wrong? Is there anything, can we do anything to help you? He's like, well, there's not much you can do. Do you know where he went? And I was like, I don't know what you mean by that. No, I don't know what you mean by that. And no, I don't know where he went. So Daniel leaves. Rocco and I, we played for probably about 10 minutes. When Jake joins again, and Rocco's like, dude, who's Jake? And I was like, oh, not again. So I'm like, Jake, can you please leave? We're just trying to play zombies. So he leaves without even saying anything. Okay, well then Daniel joins back again. And he's like, how are you? And I'm like, well, that's kind of weird. And I told him we're old enough to not know to give you our personal information. He's like, where do you live? And I was like, yeah, I'm not going to give you that either. So then he says, okay, then I'll kick Rocco. And I'm just like, I'm very conflicted. Rocco's like, okay, yeah, buddy, sure, you're gonna kick me from the Zoom meeting, yeah, right? Like, you don't even have the hacking skills. Okay, so he's like, so literally, I don't know how he did this, but he kicks Rocco from the Zoom meeting. And he types in chat, see? And I was like, well, yeah, I saw you kicked him. But why? He's like, you didn't give me your address and how old you are. And I was like, okay, are you like trying to rob us or something? It's like, we don't really have any money. He's like, no, I just need it. And that's like, well, that's kind of concerning. So Rocco joins back in while Daniel is still in the thing, okay? So then I said, dude, Daniel, I don't know who you are. I don't care where you're from. I don't care what you're doing. I said, if you're in our Zoom meeting, I say, unless if you have a copy of Black Ops 3 on Steam and you have that, then can you just leave? And he's like, I can hack Steam for you. And I was like, yeah, no, I don't want to hack. I don't want to have to hack Steam. I don't want Steam hacked for me. And he's like, okay, then give me your address. And I'm like, you know what? Okay, I've had it with this. So Rocco and I leave the Zoom meeting. I end the Zoom meeting. So I call him back and I'm like, dude, that has got to be the weirdest thing ever. So I had to leave shortly thereafter, but I had like probably a good 10 minutes where Rocco and I literally just talked about like, I was like, dude, I hope our information isn't compromised. Like, I hope he didn't get into anything. It's like, he wouldn't find anything, but he'd be able to like change our passwords. And he told me that when Daniel kicked him from the Zoom meeting, his phone shut down, which was very concerning to him and kind of less concerning me. But I was like freaking out. And I was like, okay. So I had to leave. And in the car, I was looking this up. Okay? There's an open source program called Zoom Bombs. And Zoom Bombs is basically a way to get any Zoom meeting key and password. And I'm like, okay. So I text Rocco, I'm like, okay, dude, I figured it out. And he's like, well, that's still concerning because he said his friend's wanted on the dark web. So that's basically the end of it. it was very concerning at the time. And it's very odd to me why schools would use Zoom that can almost easily be hacked. I mean, you can literally type in Zoom bombs and it can lead you to a website where you can download the open source program and literally hack Zoom meetings. It's literally the dumbest thing of all time. I don't know why schools use it. I am not an administrator for a school, but if I were, I would not use Zoom. And Rocco and I decided to never bring this up to our parents. So, Mom and Dad, if you're watching, that's what happened. Our information isn't compromised. That's pretty, I don't know. I was very conflicted at the time. I didn't know what to think. I thought, oh gosh, they're going to send a hitman after me. Rocco was also very scared. We were all very scared. Because we didn't know what to think of that. That was my first encounter with some sort of hacker, unless if you count Modern Warfare 2 in 2020. But yeah, that was my very first encounter. I guess it's 2. So, Daniel, Jake, if you're watching this video, I don't even know what to tell you, dude. Add me on Steam. But yeah, that's the end of this story time. Hopefully it was somewhat entertaining. I know it's not the coolest thing to talk about, So yeah, hopefully you enjoyed it. Hopefully, PSA, hopefully this doesn't happen to you. And I recommend being extremely careful on what you use, how reliable it is, any methods to hack it. Because it can happen. I wasn't expecting it to happen, and I thought, I'm going to die. So, be careful, be cautious, never give out your information. It seems like you don't have to be smart to know not to give out your information, but it's very different from what schools and PSAs tell you, because once you get put in a situation like that, you never know how to react. I was very concerned because, he said his friend's wanted on the dark web and he needs our information. I was like, should I trust it or not? And I gave it a good 5 minutes, and I was like, should we? And he's like, no. Rocco said no, so we both agreed no. So be careful. Don't give out your information to an unreliable site. I'm not saying Zoom is unreliable. I'm just saying you need to be very careful on it. So any teachers watching, any school administrators watching, take note from personal experience that I'm not lying. This actually happened. If you want to go on Cheddar Boy's channel, you can ask him to do his perspective. His perspective is very different from my perspective. So hopefully you enjoyed this video. Like and subscribe. The usual stuff. If you enjoyed it, you want to see more commentaries, make sure you hit the like button. If you just want to see more of my content, hit that subscribe button because it's free and you can always change your mind later. Again, we're trying to get to 40 subscribers by the end of April. I'll do something cool. So yeah, that's our milestone. Get to 40 subs by the end of April. If we do that, something cool. And as always, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, have a nice day.